Hi everyone, my name is Susan, and I love listening to hard rock and wearing men's clothes. Well, to be clear, I used to love it, and I want to tell you my story about the wonderful transformation of a frog into a beautiful princess. I have a large family. Apart from me, my parents have 3 children, all of them boys. My brothers are older than me, but there's a small age difference. 5 years with the oldest, 1 and 3 years with the rest. In general, it's not surprising we're good friends and play together. We're not rich. Only Dad works. So we all wear hand-me-downs. And the fact that I'm a girl didn't stop my mom's effort to save money. So in my early years, I wore boys' clothes, but I never really complained. T-shirts and shorts were much more comfortable than disgusting dresses. Worn-out sneakers were perfect to jump and run fast. When I did have to wear a nice dress and presentable shoes, it was an absolute nightmare. My dress hiked up to my ears, shoes hurt my feet, and my brothers laughed at my attempts to behave like a lady. My mom realized I wasn't much of a lady when she saw us jumping from the roof of a barn into a sand pile in the yard on a dare. I was the instigator and jumped further than anyone else. Football, karate, constant fights. I had the usual childhood for a girl whose best friends aren't Barbies, but 3 older brothers. My brothers are wonderful. They protected me as much as they could, tried to direct my energy to a less destructive channel, and the oldest even persuaded me to grow my hair out, like most girls do. But I ignored his advice. I like to hang out in basements and abandoned spots, spit through my teeth, and definitely swear at those losers who weren't able to climb up to the top of the tallest tree in the yard. School didn't make things better. I quickly joined the tough guy crowd and remained in it, even when my classmates realized that Susan was actually a girl's name and they obeyed the girl. Together, we were throwing carbide into the toilet, making fun of the teachers, and hanging out after school. We got in fights together, and there was no special treatment for girls. I passed 10th grade with short hair and constant scratches on my hands and face. I was a royal pain for my teachers. Despite my age, I didn't think about romance, and I never made friends with girls. Well, it wasn't interesting for me to discuss what I didn't understand, and I knew nothing about makeup, clothes, and love stories. I was just learning to play the guitar, mastering parkour, and preparing for a 3-day trip to the mountains. There was no room for dresses and dances in my world. On September 1st, we got a new student in our class. The guy moved from someplace in the north with his parents and joined our group. He offered me a bet that changed my life. I don't remember what the bet was all about. Apparently, it was something important if I agreed. But the terms of the bet were clearly imprinted in my head. I had to become a lady by the time of the graduation party, and the new guy promised to help me as much as he could. He was rich, and money didn't matter to him. We started with shopping, and he literally bought an entire wardrobe of horribly overpriced girlish clothes. Then for a long time, he taught me how to wear high heels. He signed us up for dance classes, where I was supposed to increase my flexibility and improve my walking style. Manicures, makeup, face and body care, growing long hair. I was in hell. But a bet is a bet, and even with the ridicule of my brothers, I was learning to walk, apply makeup, and behave like a girl. And it even worked out. Apparently, it was due to my horrible stubbornness. My mom finally realized I was not a completely lost cause. Graduation was nearing, and I began to notice that guys were looking at me in a strange way, and the new guy reacted badly to it. I thought it was a kind of protest, but it turned out to be hormonal. When I looked into the mirror, a pretty girl, who even had some curves, was looking back at me. At the prom, I was even voted queen, and I realized I liked it. Brute force is useful, but admiration from guys turned out to be more pleasant. For the first time in my life, I was at a school dance, and I didn't miss a single slow dance. For the first time, I felt like a girl and realized I could be proud of it. How did it all end? The new guy and I entered the university and are now officially a couple. Sometimes I still wear my brother's t-shirts, but now I prefer dresses and long skirts. I am playing the guitar and practicing parkour, but I only go out dressed like a girl because I want to. I'm learning to combine everything. Have you found yourself in a similar situation where you were pulled out of a usual routine, but it wasn't so bad? If so, like the post, and don't be afraid of change, because sometimes change is good. You never know unless you try. Hi everyone, my name is Julia, and what I will tell you almost ruined my life, but I managed to cope with it, and I want to share my story with you. Since childhood, I haven't been the most beautiful kid. I was thin, too tall for my age, pale, and kind of clumsy. I could fall on level ground and stumble over my own legs. The only distinctive feature was my big nose, so I looked like a small spider with a bow. On the other hand, my mother is extremely beautiful. She had me very early, when she was 17. My dad was her college professor. She hoped that he would leave his wife and marry her, but he decided that he didn't need a burden like me and just paid her off with money. And he still pays child support, but doesn't want to meet me. So basically, I don't know my father, but I suppose I owe my appearance to him. I don't look like my mother at all. She's short, has a beautiful feminine body, and is a natural blonde. And I'm a spider. And this has not gotten better with age. It's become even more noticeable. My mom is obsessed with her looks, and we don't get along at all. Perhaps she was dreaming I'd be like her. Someone boys would fall in love with, and would look great in cute ruffled dresses. But when she saw me, she was disappointed. I looked like a corpse from vintage photos, and no one would ever call me cute. Her parenting consisted of checking my homework, feeding me, and giving me money for clothes. When I was about 11, she even tried to pretend that we didn't know each other if we went out. And then she even entrusted me with the responsibilities of buying clothes and other things. But she didn't limit me in terms of money. She earned a lot herself. Plus, she received payments from my father, so I had everything I needed, but I've never really had a mother. I did have a best friend, Jane. She was 3 years older than me, and everything was fine in her family. I can't understand what led her to talk to the ugly, unsociable girl from the next building, but I am very grateful to her for what she did for me. Jane helped me with the classes that I couldn't understand. She taught me to communicate with other people and went shopping with me so that I didn't look like a scarecrow. Jane helped me survive what happened on my 17th birthday, and it literally almost ruined my life. When I was 16, I met a guy. He was an amazing and charismatic boy who was 4 years older than me. The very idea that I had a boyfriend, a real one, made me excited, so I didn't think about much else. It's good that Jane caught me by the arm and lectured me on birth control. Otherwise, there would have been more problems. We'd been dating for the whole year. I truly loved him, and I thought he loved me. We even planned a wedding for my 18th birthday. We were looking at apartments for just the two of us. Then I began to notice strange things. Mom started to join us more when we were hanging out in the kitchen. She was dramatically stroking my head and praising me. At the same time, she was walking around the house wearing nothing but a short bathrobe. Then, she made excuses for me to leave the apartment, like the garbage needs to be taken out immediately, or you need to run to the grocery store. Every time, my boyfriend was left alone with my mom. I mean, what could have happened in the 10 minutes I was gone? As it turned out, a lot. 1 month after my 17th birthday, I came home a bit earlier than usual. My last class had been canceled, and I hurried home to have time to finish everything I needed before my boyfriend came over. Yeah, exactly like a bad movie. I found my mother in bed with my boyfriend, whom I loved so much. And while making excuses, he said that he had wanted to tell me the truth for a long time. But my mom asked him not to upset me by telling me that he had loved her for such a long time and didn't really want to be with me. And my mother added that one could only date someone as ugly as me out of charity. I don't remember how I got out of my house. Jane was pulling me from the roof of our 9-story building. I really wanted to kill myself. But eventually, everything turned out okay. It took me more than a year to learn how to look at guys again. Now I'm 19, and this story no longer upsets me. Everything burned out. Because of Jane and her friend who's a stylist, I learned that my appearance, while a little odd, was great for the catwalk. I've recently started working with a modeling agency, where my disproportionate, long and thin body turned out to be perfect for modeling cool clothing collections of famous fashion designers. Apart from this, I'm finishing my degree at the university. I don't talk to my mother anymore, but as far as I know from our mutual friends, she stayed with my ex-boyfriend, and they got married. He doesn't work and lives off of her. I've heard that he even raises his hand against her. Once I ran into her, there was almost nothing left of her bright beauty. But I don't feel sorry for either of them. They chose their paths themselves. If you've ever experienced a tragic love in your life, like the post, and let's support each other. No one and nothing is worth your life. Create your own destiny, be happy, and then the right people will be attracted to you.